Attorney John Morgan is the founder of the law firm Morgan & Morgan. He's also a leader in the fight to legalize marijuana in Florida and the U.S. He also worked to pass Amendment 2 last November, which raised the minimum wage here in Florida. He joins us now. John Morgan, welcome to Florida this week. Great to have you here.
It's great to be with you.
Let me ask you about, you have been behind some petition drives recently. Now that the legislature has made this change and put a cap on how much people can donate to petition drives, how does that affect measures that you were instrumental in getting on the ballot?
Well, if those measures were in force and effect when I was doing my ballot initiatives, I wouldn't have been able to do either one of them, either medical marijuana or the $15 an hour living wage. So it basically takes everybody, it takes the whole game and says there will be no game anymore.
So the legislature says, look, it's rich people that are putting these issues on the ballot, and therefore it's right to put a contribution cap on the signature gathering.
It's very interesting that first of all, it's unconstitutional. The Supreme Court case, Citizens United, basically stood for the proposition that money was the same as speech and a violation of free speech. So the first thing is it's unconstitutional. The second thing is it's funny that they limited to $3,000 something I could put in, but for themselves, they have unlimited amounts of money that they can take. $100,000 donations are easily done every day in Tallahassee. And so what really happened here is they don't like the purest form of democracy, which is an initiative effort. It took power away from them and gave it to the people. It took power away from special interest and gave it to the people. And that's how these politicians get money, is by doing things for special interests. So they're trying to subvert the purest form of democracy that we have, which is an initiative for the people.
So in recent years, land conservation, medical marijuana, the minimum wage have all been passed. The restoration of voting rights have all been passed through this method. Would any of those pass now under what the legislature has just approved?
You wouldn't be able to get them on the ballot because it would be impossible to get that much money from small donors. And so none of it would happen. More importantly is all of those things that happened, the restoration of felons' rights, fair districts, medical marijuana, living wage, the people in Tallahassee never even took any of those measures up. But the funny part about it is that's what the people wanted. Because remember, to pass, it has to pass with 60% of the vote, not 50%, 60% of the vote, which, as you know, in politics is a landslide.
Really? Yeah. All right. So, but the sponsor of this legislation says, look, leave it up to the legislature to do this. You can't write up an amendment that's going to adequately cover all the aspects of a law. Just leave it up to the legislature. They'll take care of it. That's what the sponsor of the bill said.
Well, nobody ever brought up a living wage. Nobody ever brought up medical marijuana. Nobody ever brought up restoring felons' rights. They're not going to bring it up. And look, Jose Oliva, who was the Speaker of the House, he was really fighting me about the minimum wage. And I said, Jose, take it up, have hearings. The best thing would have been to be done by statute. But Jose and his brethren basically called my bluff, but I don't bluff and I don't blink. And therefore, the people of Florida said, we are compassionate. It's not a living wage. People cannot take care of their families on $8 an hour. And they did what the legislature would not even have hearings about.
Mm-hmm. So, John, you said it's unconstitutional at the start of this interview. Will you be challenging this law when the governor signs it?
I don't know if I will. I'll help them if they want. I would imagine that the ACLU and all sorts of groups are going to come in to challenge this amendment. I mean, it's not a lot of work. You just have to go to Citizens United and track and trace the language from the Supreme Court, and that's your roadmap. Citizens United.
Well, John Morgan, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming on the program.
It's good to see you.
I hope you come back.
Thanks for having me.